What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I have reached update number 38 in my CD collection. We're getting close to that big number 40. God, I can't believe I've done a lot of these videos ever since starting them in 2021. But, yeah, so this is actually the third and final part of the stuff that I got while I was in Dayton. The last two updates you've seen the last couple of weeks have been all about the Dayton trip, and actually after this update I got one more to get caught up, and it's gonna be pretty much stuff that I got on my Tennessee trip, so be on the lookout for that pretty soon. But let's go ahead and get through the final section of the Dayton trip, again at 4 different places that I got these things from. Let's get started with Necrophobic Bloodhymns. This is the 4th album from these Swedish black and death metal pioneers, and I've been needing to get all of the Necrophobic albums, especially since at the time of recording this video, they've got a new album coming out, and I can't wait to hear how it sounds in comparison to Dawn of the Damned. But yeah, this is a bit different. This was kind of maybe the beginning of when Necrophobic was starting to get a little bit more mellow death meets black metal, whereas the early stuff was definitely more Swedish death meets black metal. But yeah, I mean, songs like Among the Storms, Taste of Black, Dreams Shall Flesh, really good stuff on here. So yeah, if you are a fan of, I would say, like Dissection, At the Gates, I would say like even Dismember and Hypocrisy, definitely check this out. This is some good stuff. Alright, and now we get to a pair from Overkill. We have White Devil Armory and The Wings of War. 2 of the more modern albums from Overkill, and I've reviewed both of these albums. I've reviewed White Devil Armory when it came out in 2014, and Wings of War in 2019. Back again when I really was trying to find my footing in reviewing albums, but still, both of these albums are fantastic thrash metal albums from these long-standing legends, and I need to get more Overkill. More pretty much so, I would say I really just need to get everything from after Horoscope and before White Devil Armory, because I don't have Electric Age or Ironbound yet. I do plan to get those, and then go back and forth and see which ones of the rest of the catalog I want to get. But yeah, these are 2 fantastic albums. White Devil Armory I really liked because it just has so much punk attitude on here, like King of the Rat Bastards. That's a hell of a song. And then Wings of War, definitely I felt kind of sounded a little bit more mature. Well, even though you still have a song called Batshit Crazy, a little bit more maturity going on in comparison to this in terms of songwriting and lyrics. But I will say the song Distortion, if you listen to the beginning of that and the beginning of Little Julie by Sarcophago, do an A-B on that and tell me how they don't sound alike, because they do. But anyways, awesome albums. Check them out if you haven't. Alright, next up we got Probot's lone self-titled album. So of course, for those who've been living under a rock, this was Dave Grohl's metal project, a side project he did with, oh god, let's go through all the guests we have on here in terms of vocalists. We have Kronos from Venom, Max Cavalera, Lemmy, Mike Dean from Corrosion of Conformity, Kurt Brick from DRI, Lee Dorian of Cathedral, Wino of The Obsessed, Tom G. Warrior, Snake from Voivod, Eric Wagner of Trouble, and King Diamond. So yeah, lots of legendary guests, and this album's fucking fun. Goes from everything from speed metal to punk to doom metal to classic heavy metal. I mean, Dave Grohl, who doesn't love Dave Grohl? I mean, come on. One of the most genuine souls in music, even if some political opinions can be a bit murky with me. Still, amazing human being. Hell, he just recently did a barbecue for a bunch of homeless people. Like, come on. But yeah, Probot. Self-titled, killer shit. Alright, next up we have Purtenance, member of Immortal Damnation. This is the debut album from these Finnish death metal legends, and yeah, this band, part of the what's known as the Nokia trio of bands that formed out of Nokia, Finland. So it's them, Convulse, and Lubricant, all completely different. Like Convulse being more brutal and percussive early on, Lubricant a little more medical obsessed and odd. And then Purtenance here, definitely going for a more atmospheric, cerebral approach. And this album's fucking nasty. Songs like Black Vision, Deep Blue Darkness, Reality Isn't Disappeared. Some really cool stuff on here. And this came out in 92, but this is the Extreme Music reissue from 2011. Extreme Music really know how to do a lot of reissues of the classic Swedish bands right. Well, except for Demolich. Thankfully, I got the compilation. But still, awesome album. If you are a fan of Finnish death metal, check this out. Alright, we get another pair, this time from Queen. We have A Night at the Opera and News of the World. These came out back to back. This was 75, this was 77. And of course, classic hard rock staples. I mean, it's Queen. Nothing, what more can I say? Other than on this album, of course, you get Bohemian Rhapsody, which is still one of the greatest songs ever written. And then, of course, with A Night at the Opera, having We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions. I mean, classic songs. And everything else, it's like deep cuts for Queen fans. But yeah, it's just awesome to finally have some Queen in my collection. I hope to get more in the future, but that remains to be seen. But for now, we have two mid-70s classics. Alright, next up we have Rammstein with Mutter. So this is the third full-length from these German industrial metal legends that are still going strong to this day, despite legal issues. But this is an awesome album. Came out in 2001, and this album features some of my personal favorite Rammstein songs, like Links 234, Sonne, Zitter Zwitter, Firefly, but my particular favorite would be the title track. And dare I say, probably my favorite Rammstein song. It's one of the saddest songs I've ever heard in my life. That brings a tear to your eye. But yeah, this is maybe my favorite Rammstein album. I don't know, Sehnsucht is pretty tough to beat, and I think I would still say Sehnsucht might be my favorite, but this is up there. And I still need to get Reise Reise, the album that came out after this, and then I'm going to be picky about getting anything else Rammstein afterwards, because it is a bit spotty for me. But still, this is a great album. If you have slept on this album in particular, please check it out. Alright, next up we have Rotting Christ with the Triarchy of the Lost Lovers. This is the third studio full-length from these Greek black metal, now melodic death metal band, this legendary band. I am stumbling because I've recorded so many videos on today, which was February 18th when I'm recording this, so I've been a busy fuck. So, cut me some slack. But yeah, Rotting Christ, Triarchy of the Lost Lovers, third album from these legendary Greek black metalers, now, I would say, melodic death metal band. And this represented a big change. Like, I have the debut album, Thy Mighty Contract. I still need to get some more Rotting Christ, because I have that and The Heretics, and I know they got a new album coming out this year, finally. But I wanted to get this one because this was a big changeover. Like, a lot more melody, and dare I say, almost gothic black metal, because there's some cool gothic moments. But particularly, the two songs that stand out the most to me are the opening track, King of a Stellar War. It's like Triplet City. And then one with the Forest, featuring some of the most memorable riffs in extreme metal during the 90s. So yeah, I need to listen to the whole thing. But still, I'm glad to have this one in the collection. I need more Rotting Christ. This is some fantastic, fantastic stuff. Alright, next up we got Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols by the Sex Pistols. This is the lone album from these British punk icons. I mean, this is a must-have for any fan of rock music. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of punk music, I do appreciate the influence that the Sex Pistols had on not just punk, but even some metal bands like Saxon, even Megadeth. But yeah, it's just cool to have this also for the songs Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen. Killer stuff. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of punk. But yeah, never mind the Bollocks. Next up, we have Soulfly with Savages. This came out in 2013, and this album, I've been needing to get into more Soulfly, not just the last album, Totem, which was a fantastic album, and in my opinion, more Sepultura than Sepultura since Derek Green came in. But no disrespect to Derek Green, he's awesome, but it's just not the same without Max. But anyways, so yeah, this album, I do need to dive further into more Soulfly, but this is a cool step. After all, produced by Terry Date, and I doesn't say which song on here that features Mitch Harris from Napalm Death doing like shrilled vocals, but still really cool album. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, next up we have Tesseract with Sonder. This came out in 2018, and after I checked out the last one, War of Being, which was a brilliant album, I've been needing to get some Tesseract in my collection, and I was happy to have found this. And this is a cool media book edition because it also comes with a second disc that's 3D in-ear mixing. So I actually need to check that version out to see how it stacks up. But yeah, great progressive metal. I'm not going to say the D word because it's not a real genre. It's just an 8-string guitar used. But anyways, great prog metal from England. I need to get War of Being and then check out everything else like Altered State and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's cool to have something unique like a 3D mix. Wonder what the hell that is. But whatever. Tesseract with Sonder. Alright, next up we have Vltimas with Something Wicked Marches In, the debut album from this awesome super black and death metal supergroup featuring, of course, David Vincent, Blasphemer, formerly of Mayhem, and also in Art Noir, and Flo Mounier from Cryptopsy. So, yeah, I actually did review this one when it came out in 2019, and this was an awesome black and death metal album, and I'm happy to know they got a new album coming out pretty soon that I'm definitely going to review. And wonder how it's going to stack up in comparison to this, because this was fucking awesome. Maybe that I Am Morbid band that David Vincent has with Pete Sandoval, maybe they should do some full lengths. That would probably be better than Morbid Angels since Gateways. But yeah, Vltimas finally got this, and I can't wait to check out the new one. Next up, we have White Zombie with Astro Creep 2000. Finally got this one. Now I got pretty much all the White Zombie that I could want, along with Lost Exorcisto. But yeah, this is, again, a must-have for any fan of 90s metal, mid-90s metal. I mean, songs like Electric Head, Supercharger Heaven, More Human Than Human, some killer songs. After all, Rob Zombie, despite like the quality control of his solo work, he still knows how to entertain people. And this album is certainly like the perfect merge of his fascination with horror and metal music, and this is a great example of that. And then finally, to conclude the Dayton updates, we have ZZ Top's Greatest Hits. I knew as soon as I saw this at that flea market, I had to pick it up just to finally say I have some ZZ Top in the collection. And basically, if you are someone who's not as familiar with like all of ZZ Top's work but want to start off fresh, this is a good alternative because you get all the great songs. Give Me All Your Lovin', Sharp Dressed Man, Tush, Legs, LaGrange, Cheap Sunglasses. All of the classic staples of fucking ZZ Top. And I believe this compilation came out in 92. So up to 1992, already some killer shit. So yeah, I'm just glad to finally say I have some ZZ Top. And that, ladies and gentlemen, knocks out yet another update, and finally concluding the Dayton update, although I still have one more update left to do, and that's the Tennessee collection update. And then after that, basically going to start working on another stack for update 30... Or no, the Tennessee update will be update 39, but getting stuff ready for update number 40, which is going to be really cool. But anyways, what was your favorite album out of this stack? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.